Oh, hello. Well, aren't you little Mr. or Mrs. Cutie Pie? Hello, hello. Give me just a hot second. We'll get started here. Oh, gee, you're looking so cute today. Hold on, we're almost ready. We need music. Bam. 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 There we go. Okay, now we're cooking. Okay. That's done. That's loaded. Refresh here, refresh there. That's now loaded. Lower quality. Perfect. Move that over here. Done. Move that over here. Done. I just walk into a face full of goo boy. Hell yeah. Come here. You get the intro lick. I think my head's like a good size here. I feel like this is like the maximum I can make my head size without it being like creepy, you know? Okay, so that's done. Whoop. Jinx, we need a better background. Hold on. Yeah, that's fine. Goldmine, Gary. Well, how are you, Goldmine? How was your day? Before we get started, you get the intro convo. How's your day going? Okay, hold on. I got one more thing to do here. Oh no, I did link the Discord. Oh, based. One day I'm gonna make a program in C++ that does a lot of this automatedly. Gary the Average, hey! Listen, Gary the Average 435, don't be a hater. Be an appreciator, Fonz. The Discord link? Omega lol? Wait, what? No! Well, there's the music list. No, we're gonna keep it. Whatever, you guys can find the link on your own. All right, it's there now. That is funny though. Oh damn, that's a first. I'm gonna go to work soon. Well, have a good time at work. Aw, have a good time. What time? Wait, you do weird hours. Unless you're European. Bonzi with the ghost. Bam, you get ghost. Okay. I was looking at something today at work and I was like, inflation calculator. I just was looking it up today. Now, incidentally, when I saw the inflation calculator, I saw something cool. Public data API. And I was like, oh, that would be a fun little project to do like a little homemade inflation calculator thing. That would teach us something. So I go down, US Bureau of Labor of Statistics. It's the official government website, all that stuff. So then I'm like, okay. Well, what's this about? I need to zoom out. Okay. Bloop. So, the Bureau of Labor Statistics gives a public API to like grab everything, make an account, how you do JSON data or XLXSX stuff, get and post get request, all that stuff, right? And then they were like, oh, we provide sample code. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I bet there would be something neat with like C++ and all that. So I clicked on it at work and then I look at the list and it's like C#, Java, PHP, Python, R, Ruby, SAS, Unix, MATLAB, and Julia. And then I realized, oh my God, C++ programmers are so good, we don't need sample code. That's why. That's why it's not listed here. Totally not because the government doesn't allow C++. 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Man, I don't know if I could ever work a night shift in my life. I couldn't do it. I need my sleep at night. It's too important to me. It's too important. All right, let's pick up Visual Studio. Now, chat. I was looking up a lot of stuff at work and I realized something. Hold on, let's boot up the program real quick. Boop. Load. Okay, so this is our app so far, right? Or our game. And I'm happy with where we're at with things. I did not mean to open that. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with where we're at with things. My only thing, let me switch views for you. My only thing is I realized, whoop, a little too big. Also, chat, what are you doing at the bottom? Get up there. You guys know your place. Boom. Here's the thing. I was reading at work, like, I didn't want to cheat and like just look up code. So I was trying to get like, what are some of the principles of like game engines? And then I saw like a new person ask, except it wasn't SDL, it was SMH or something like that. It was like, shake my head. It was like SFML or something. Anyway, it was a similar question like, hey, I'm having issues with textures, like getting things like not loaded, but just organizing them. And then somebody said, what you guys, I think it was What's Up who said it. Also, What's Up, is there a reason you're not appearing in this chat, but you are appearing in my Twitch chat? See, look, What's Up is here, but not here. Isn't that weird? Isn't that odd? Sorry, What's Up? If I ever miss your messages, that's why. Here's the thing, is that I think it was What's Up yesterday who said something about putting your textures in a vector and constructor for the hero class, or the hero, like the main character, right? Just make a constructor for this class, because I was like, how do I organize everything? And I think he's right on both accounts. Having like looked through a lot of this, I think the best way, I think the texture loading thing is fine. I think the sprite loading thing, this needs work, because I think what we're gonna do today is start making some enum classes for bullet type. And then this bullet type enumerated class is gonna be like pellet or snowflake or beam. And what we're gonna do is this will all be put on a vector of STD vector of type bullet type, and I think we're gonna call it texture, I don't know, texture storage. And then in that texture storage, we're not gonna have a size. And then what we're gonna do is try to make the sprite module in a way where creating a new kind of bullet type under the enumerated classes, we're gonna make a function that adds to this enumerated class bullet type somehow, some way. I don't even know if that's possible, but we're gonna do it. It must be, it's C++, anything is possible. It'll add to this enum type. It'll also resize the vector +1 and add that bullet type to the vector. I think that's what we're gonna do. And that's gonna be a fun adventure today. That's what we're gonna do. If we still have time, we're gonna be changing the hero thing to have a constructor so that we just load in like the sprite and texture and everything we're gonna need. I have no idea what the other chat is. It's multi-stream. It's basically connecting YouTube and like JRR. Hi JRR. Hello Jack. Why do you guys keep calling me Faye even though it's not my name? Hello Faye in the YouTube chat. Exactly. JRR. Hello bonjour. I have no idea what the other chat is. It's YouTube chat and Twitch chat combined into multi-stream. So that's kind of what's going on there. So if you guys ever see me answering a question you guys don't see, it's probably in the other chat. Okay, so with that all being said, let's go back to our sprite module here. And I think what we're gonna do is move this over here. So I think what we're gonna do, I'm debating whether or not to start this completely over, but I don't think we do. But we do have to reconsider a few things. Let's just, for now, do we rewrite it? Well, let's think about this. What are we doing? When we want to create a sprite out of a texture, this, oh, no, wait, shit, this is gonna go under bullets, isn't it? So under this create a bullet, previously, all we were doing was combining the sprite that we made and the collision information. So is that all we're gonna be doing? I'm debating, because what I'm thinking is we're gonna have a vector of enumerated classes of different bullet types. But should we just broaden it out and just say all textures are of that? That doesn't seem very good, right? Do we really want like a vector, all textures, yada yada? Like that kind of deal? I don't know if we want that. I'd rather have different vectors for different graphics, you know? But then what do you want to do? What I want, I slipped and fell on my side last Friday. Man, that hurt. Heck yeah, that would hurt. God damn. Rip your back if you were 30 years older. What I want to do is I want to have, I'm debating whether or not it's like 1 to 4 vectors, depending on what we're looking for. Basically, I want to organize my textures to be on a vector, the vector object type being an enumerated class. So I don't want just a regular enumeration because I don't want these like, because we're going to fuck around with numbers a lot. I don't want to like change the type of bullet by just accidentally adding to the enumerator, you know? So we're going to have an enumerated class. You felt like that at Gary's age and your back is never the same again. Excuse me, I am youthful and spry, all right? Don't be a hater, be an appreciator. So what I'm thinking is we have multiple vectors, like vector, texture, vector, background, vector. Is that better than just having like, sorry, not vector, like bullet texture, I mean, and then vector for background, or should we just have one vector for all sprites in the game? It's not a texture thing. I don't think textures go there because you're not just making, I don't want like a texture. I want like a vector of bullet textures based on the sprite, but I don't know if it's better to organize all textures under vector or separate vectors for different textures. I don't know what's more appropriate. Sprites, yes, thank you. Not textures, sprites. So it's like vector, all sprites. Or would it be like vector bullet sprites, vector background sprites? They technically wouldn't be sprites, but bear with me. Vector UI sprites. I just don't know like what's a more appropriate thing. I probably want different vectors, right? For all sprites in the game. I think that's what we're gonna do. And if that's the case, basically what I'm basically gonna be asking is, do I want to have these vectors stored under the sprite class or under the bullet class? And I think this is where bullets are gonna come in, right? Because we have the sprite information and we have the rectangle collision information. I don't know. It should go outside in a game class. What? The game loop? No shot. Maybe initialization. Like I could see that. So we would have the, why would it be in the main game loop? So all this is gonna move, by the way. Actually all of this is gonna be moving. Why would it be here? So when we, so would I do something like load all sprites function, and then I store that function somewhere else? Maybe that's what I'll do. So because we're sharing modules and all that, I don't need the actual logic for this function, right? But I do need the sprites available in the main game loop. Why? Do I need access to them? It should not be in game loop. It should be in load game resource. Okay, so like initialization. That's fine. Because all I care about, right, really in the end, is all I care about is when these sprites are loaded, I want the system, oh, maybe it does go in game loop. Basically, I want the system to have access to the vector. Oh, I know what we're gonna do. I can return to the application an STD vector, right? And in the main game loop, return that vector as part of the application app, and then create a new vector. Oh, but that would mean all the textures would go on one vector. Is that really that correct? Maybe there is a cleaner way to do it. Maybe I should have a module for loading everything. It seems like that's where we're going to be struggling. But what is initialization if not loading the whole game? I guess I could have like different vectors for different levels, and every new level it loads the new vector of sprites. I mean, that's a way to do it. Sprites or polygons? Sprites. This is a not 3D game, so we don't deal with polygons, which imply a 3D shape. Maybe bits? I'll be joining the 40 club in a few weeks. Well, congratulations, JRR. You're like almost twice my age. Oh my goodness. Okay. I think Bullets is going to have the vector. No, it's not going to have the vector, but it will use this. All right, you're right. Let's do a new module. Add a module, and we're going to put load game data. Well, I'll just put load game. Load game data. Fuck. You don't want a game class. Putting std vector sprite in an application class should be fine. A bit of a cross concern, but not a big deal in this small game. If you don't want a game class, putting an std vector sprite in the application class should be fine. Yeah, I think a new module is fine. Although I'm debating, do I need a new module, or would I just put this under initialization as a separate, like, export class load game data, like that? And in this, we'll have the vector for textures that's going to be loaded with all these textures in a vector. Because if I create a vector, if I do like std vector all textures local texture pack, like that, basically if I have this vector and we create it here, and then this takes an std vector all textures texture pack, something like that. If that's what it takes in the class, then we can return that information like the app. Well, at that point, why not just have it be part of the app? Oh, I guess that means we can have a different thing we're sending around, huh? That's true. Yeah, that is kind of true, because that way we don't have to keep tossing around this rectangle. I guess it's by reference anyway, but still. You know what? No, I do want that to be the same, because it's all the same idea. Except now we don't need these two textures here. We can actually just delete them. Katie Bug, hello. I see you lurking there, Katie Bug. How's it going? How's it going? We're getting closer here. We're definitely getting closer. This is where I'm at. Oops. Wait, what? Oh, we were in the circular logic thing. Right. Initialization depends on textures. So let's get rid of the texture stuff. Textures. Copy. Let's just get rid of this real quick so people don't. Texture. I have a lot of issues with textures, so now this will run. What? Hero sprite. Oh, this. Yeah, we need to start over here anyway. What? Oh. Oh my gosh, hold on. You know, here, we started from scratch anyway. Just drop the whole thing. Remove. Yes, delete. Play. This no longer takes the local renderer. It takes the app.global renderer. The app.global renderer. That's hero texture, hero sprite sheet. Except now it's L hero sprite sheet and L. There we go. Now it should work. Fuck. Shoot. This needs to find better. Oh my goodness. Bullet sheet texture. Now it should work. There we go. Okay, we're back on track. Okay. Whew. Gotcha. It's not cyclic logic. It cycles import. You remove import statement to fix it. Not really here, just streaking though. Struder! Well, nice to see you almost here. Pesky, ain't it? If a module... If you don't want a game class, putting std vector sprite in an application class should be fine. If module A depends on module B depends on module C depends on module A, the compiler won't know which to compile first. Okay. I mean, it makes sense. It's just we kind of, now that we've undone the circle, now we can kind of move from here. And a lot of it was dealing with the these textures, which again, all of this is going to move and it's going to look, it's going to look so much better, chat, when we actually get there. Okay. Okay, that's done. Let me just pin that over there. Initialization is where we're going to put the textures. All right. Now we're going to make everything we need. So we're going to have in our initialization thing a separate... Ooh, I can't just return... Oh, wait, can I have two different... Oh, I'm debating. I do want a separate function here. Okay, hold on. Okay, hear me out. What if we have a different... Well, this is... Yeah, I guess this will be a struct. What if we have a different application loading thing? So like load game data, and under this thing, this struct, we have a separate function, export load game data, and we call this load game. And then under this function, we return load game data, however we define it. And then that's how we do that. And then now we have access to the load game data, which is going to contain all of our textures, probably more later, but textures for now. And then the application, which is going to contain the constants. Speaking of which, why isn't this a constant? That should be a constant. Has our constants like the renderer and the size of the resolution of the screen, that kind of deal. STD error. What did you call me? It's a standard error or... Oh, I said stitter. What did I say? Studer? STD error? I might have said STD error, maybe. Lurk, Preox, hello! Standard error. Okay, my bad. You look like a studer. All right, I think this is what we're gonna do. I understand now why you would say have a separate module for loading, because we're really just doing two separate things in this module. But also, I like having this idea of one module that takes care of all the loading assets in the game. All right, here's the problem. Before we do anything, let's very quickly see if we can import textures and import, well, we're gonna need to import bullets. In fact, we're gonna need to import everything here except game loop. Hopefully this works. Does not work because it's circular. Okay, so now we have a problem. I need to call this texture, which means I do need a different module, right? Because if I need to load all the... Yeah, that's fine. Let's make a new module. This is totally fine. Let's boom. What can't be solved by adding more modules? All right, we're going to call this load game data. Load game. We'll just call it load game. Okay, so now we have a new module. We're going to have module load game. It will be a module. Primary interface, I mean. It will need to import textures. It will need to import sprites. And it will take care of the rest of here in a second. I will also need to import SDL header. And then also import... No, we will need to import image, right? Because we are... Do we need to render anything here? We're calling textures. I must... I don't even know what we're going to use it for, but I know we're going to use it. Okay, so now under initialization, we're going to grab a few things. So we're going to grab this. And then we're also going to grab this. Okay, so here, what we're going to be doing is we're going to create and export a texture vector. Two hardest problems in software: cache invalidation and naming things based. Look into bullets, IXX, remove import initialization texture. Look into bullets. My bullets module is only importing sprites and the SDL header. Yeah. I think it might be because textures imports initialization. Sprites imports wow, really? I don't import textures on sprites? Yo, based? Damn. I don't know what the problem was. This imports sprites. Oh, I guess it doesn't need to import sprites, does it? That might have been the problem. Yeah, this doesn't care about the sprite module anymore. So now it should run. Yeah, okay. So this didn't care about sprites. That's probably where the issue was. Oh, okay, that looks correct. Yeah, I think that was the problem, is I was importing sprites in the initialization, and so it was like issued. But whatever, we'll separate load game from everything. So this will reference textures and sprites, probably collision stuff later as well, but whatever. Oh no, it actually will need to import bullets because we are creating the bullets here. Okay, so this will also, in fact, this is going to be like, well, chat, I guess I have a question. If I import bullets, do I need to import sprites? Because this does require a sprite. This does call that. I actually don't know. Yes, I do need to import it. Okay, I kind of figured. Because I guess we're calling bullets with sprites function. Okay, I got you. It says S++23 on top of Gary, but it's 25 in the title. Nope, it's the 25th day of programming, baby. It's we're going on at the end of today. It'll be about 7 because I spend about 3 hours a day programming. So at the end of today, we're at about like hour 75 of programming. And I think for 75 hours, I think I'm in a weird place. If I had to summarize where I was right now in like a very short summary, I actually think it was Geargate who put it the best, where it's like some topics, Programmer Jeff. Oh, thank you, Programmer Jeff. Thank you. You sound, wow, Jeff is like the most stereotypical programmer name I've ever heard. There's Jeff, there's Charlie, and there's Ben. That's like those three, right? Maybe not Charlie, but definitely Ben. Jeff, Ben, and Charlie. John? I don't know. Anyway, Gary. So here's the deal. This is where I think I'm at, going on hours 72 to 75 today in my C++ SDL journey. I think Geargate put it the best. I think that in some cases, I'm ahead where I should be and understanding the language, and in others, I'm like inadequately, like not even close, right? So like when it comes to like understanding, like I know what a lambda is and I know the parameters of a lambda. I just don't use it because the syntax is super confusing, and I get it, right? But like I also still have a hard time understanding the capabilities or the practical applications of a constructor. So like I think it's just kind of the downside of being self-taught, huh? I think you're really far considering you're dealing with the vexing parse of C++. Oh, don't blow me. Don't get on your knee. Listen, chat, you guys are chat. You disagree with me. That's your place, all right? You know your role in this world, all right? Don't be being nice and shit. Okay, so what are we doing for loading game data? Well, let's do this. Let's do this. Ooh. If I want to call hold on. Export. I don't know how to do this. I don't think we're exporting this load game data. I think what we are going to do. Oh, maybe. I don't know. I think what we're going to do is have another function for vector. Oh, no. I'm trying to think about how to organize this because I need a vector. We're going to have enumerated classes, all that shit. I think this all goes under load game, but maybe we call it as like a load vector because all that information is going to be down here. I don't know. We'll just type it out first, I guess. All right, first, we need an enumerated class. This enumerated class is going to be textures. Very original name. No, I don't like that name. It's too generic. Game textures. And then in this enumerated class, we're going to keep it empty. That's all we're going to do with it. It just needs to exist. Then we're going to have a import std. You guys thought I was about to type import vector, huh? Like hash. How did the plebeians do it? Hashtag include vector. How the fuck did you guys do that? Vector. That's what you did. Okay. Fuck the plebeians. We don't need that shit. We have import std, baby. That takes care of all the headers for us. You said you want an enum class. Maybe you mean enum texture ID. Bullet sheet equals 0. Include is for peasants. Exactly. I'm an OpenGL C++ game developer, constantly distracted by pretty graphics. If I did something like that, I would just use Vulkan over OpenGL. I play Path of Exile and I use Vulkan in that, so that's just what comes to mind. The thing about OpenGL is like, and Vulkan, and really Metal, is that I just don't have an interest in making 3D games right now. I'm more in the 2D game interest area, so I don't think I need like a you know, graphics renderer more than what SDL is capable of. And it is capable of some hardware acceleration. So we're gonna have std vector. So that did load. It's gonna be object type game textures, and we're gonna call this list of textures, and it will be of size 0, size 1. If I put that, I'm assuming it's going to be size 0, which means even referencing the 0th spot doesn't reference anything, right? Or maybe this is default size 1 and you reference, I could test this, but whatever. I think it's size 1, spot 0. So list of textures bracket 0 is the only thing that exists, and it is of quantity null, I guess. SDL allows you to pass through to OpenGL Vulkan and D3. Yeah, so SDL, I keep calling it a framework and then people correct me. I'm still gonna call it a framework. It's the stuff that takes care of like this. It's like the window, it's the box, you know? That's a bullet right there, ignore that. But it's like, it's the box that it comes with, it's the shell. And then inside of the shell is your OpenGL graphics renderer, right? We don't need that. We can just use our own C++ knowledge to apply what we need to. And if I ever do have an interest in 3D games, you bet your ass I'm using a game engine and shit. I'm not recreating the wheel 10,000 times, maybe like a couple dozen times, all right? So now we have a couple of problems. When we create a texture, this texture needs to be... Also, can this be this? No, it can't, but it needs to be some object. STD vector of type something is going to be list of textures. We'll call this local list of textures. Now, this doesn't work though, does it? How do I... How do I do this? Oh, wait, hold on. I need to call it something. Wait, what am I doing? I need to create an object of load game data. And then we're gonna return that. That load game data will be an STD vector. But how do I make it so it is of object this enumerated class? Do I have to establish that in here, maybe? How about you put game textures outside and export while you're at it? Are you saying make it a global? Because this is what I want to export, but if I'm going to be making it a global anyway, like you just put it up here, but I thought I could just make it a struct. Is that not wise? Now I have become Death, Destroyer of World. Cummins Turbo! I see you there looking there in YouTube chat. My internet is something else. I'm not really helpful, am I? Let me know if you need an opinion that I'm here. Oh, no, it's fine. Hey, I dig it. I heard you. I just shocked. Hello. How are you? So how would I export this vector of game textures? Huh. I mean, I guess I could just return the vector. Yeah, I don't need to return a struct if I'm just returning the vector, right? So the game is going to call the load game data. This load game data will have this vector in it. It will have the address. I can't be tossing around a vector from function to function. It's going to be like pointing to this vector. Gary, why is the link to your stream a Riot Games music video? Because I linked the wrong thing. Hold on. God damn it. 1 second. There. You guys have your link without me pinging everyone. Vectors underneath are just a pointer. I mean, enumerated class game texture declaration. It's not a variable, so it won't be made a global variable. Oh, is it? If you can make a global with a static field, but it might not be a good idea dispensing on it. Interesting. Move line 15 to line 9. So this is considered okay practice. Well, the thing is we can't make it static though, right? Because we are going to be iterating it. The idea is whenever we call the load game function, it's going to automatically resize this vector +1. Basically, whenever we're calling like the load texture, like we're creating a new thing, I don't want to have to manually adjust 20 items to get a new texture in the game. I want it to be able to automate like resizing the vector, adding the new load game data type or the new game texture enumerated class to that class, add the new texture to this enumerated class, and then that add also increases vector by 1 and adds it to the vector. So that way I just have a vector with that on there as soon as I call the function and I make the type and everything. That's the idea. You should understand the move constructor. I don't want to move. It's always like a crazy thing. Gary peaked at 31 viewers one time while coding. Oh, buddy, we peaked at like 50 one time while coding. It's an enumerated class. It's a type. It's fine to be at the global scope, ignoring namespace. Oh. Gary's having a big brain moment and not realizing it. And yes, you can have a static field and a struct. I mean, I thought static was, it's not const. I thought static. Well, fuck. Let's just look it up. The C++ standard library forbids macroizing the word static. Enables warning C405 when defined forbidden define. Oh, wait, that's not what I wanted. I peaked at 0 viewers one time. Hey, man, we all got to start somewhere. When I started, it took about a week before I had more than... Actually, my first day ever of streaming, I've never streamed alone before. That's never happened to me. Because my very first day of streaming, I streamed to 0 people for about 10 minutes. And then I had a guy named Kramaga. He was there with me for like 7 hours on my first day, streaming Path of Exile League Prep. Because he loved Path of Exile. I'm like, hey, bud. Hey, champ. So ever since then, I've never streamed like with nobody watching. It was only for 10 minutes. And I feel like I got super lucky there. And then I debuted, and that was just easy from there. Okay, hold on. C++, static. Okay, the static keyword. It's different meanings. Static variables. Variables in a function, variables in a class, static members of a class, class objects and functions in a class. What does it mean? When a variable is declared as static, space for it gets allocated for the lifetime of the program. Even if the function is called multiple times, the space for the static variable is allocated only once, and the value of the variable is the previous. Oh, yeah, this is exactly what we want. Oh, yeah, no, this is exactly... Okay, thank you. We do want it to be static. We do want, like, one block of memory, because this will never grow. This will never shrink once this load game function is done, right? We're not going to be creating new textures in the middle of the game, in this game, right? So that is true. We do want that to be static. Static enumerated class. Holy shit. Next thing you know, it'll be static const enumerated class. Wouldn't that be goofy? Static is for STD vector, not... Oh. Wait, why wouldn't the enumerated class be static, though? Oh, it's not a variable. Okay, it's not a variable. Okay, based. Yeah, so if I put static here, it's not gonna run. Oh, no, it did run. What the fuck? Chat, it did compiled. You lied. DC, hello. Welcome. Actually, you didn't lie, but, like, you know. For our purposes, we didn't actually do anything with it. Okay. So we give up on no non-const globals variable. Static is a glorified global variable. Oh. Where I don't know what it means. Oh, I got you. Okay, I got you. All right, fuck that. Now, this is gonna be static, right? This is also going to be static, I think. Okay, so this is what's going to get exported in the end. So we should put load game data. Okay, now we're going to make a new object type. This object type is going to be load game data local list of texture. Wait, what the fuck? Local texture container is equal to this. Incorrect. MSVC permits static on enumerator for some reason. That's an MSVC bug. Oh man, cool. Static in the global scope means the same as it does in C. Does not support the symbol to other object files. Oh. Apparently also allows register before enum declarations. Based. Time to take Goober to Frederick Fauzubar's Mega Pizzaplex and introduce him to the bullet of 45. What? Is this a meme I am unaware of? Do I really not need to declare that twice? Why is this an issue? Hold on. Should be static. Semicolon. What's the issue here? So that does need to be there. Okay. So now L texture container is equal to this. Oh, dot. List of textures. Ah, now this is not going to be static. It is. Interesting. So what you're saying... Hold on, what are we saying here? So this has to be static. Local texture container is equal to L list of textures. And that's going to be at the very end. In fact, this is going to be like the last thing we do, huh? This is going to be right before we load game data, because that's going to change immediately. And once this is done, once we're done with whatever we're doing, then we export the struct. Ooh. Okay, I think this is the correct way to do it. Static goes in front, yeah. You're good up top. That static means something completely different. Static goes in front. Sassy fajita! Wait, you're good up top. Oh, I see. That means allocated arena at compile time, IIRC, to access structs vector. Just go load game data list of textures. What? Now you can combine definition declaration into one line? I don't want to. Oh, I see what, no, I do want to. You're right. Load game data. This. Is equal to that. Does not work. Yeah, doesn't work. I do need this, which means we're still gonna have an issue. Yeah, I think I have to do it this way. I don't know why, but I think I do. Do you really want to use static for funsies? Is this not correct? If the struct has a static vector, this must also be static, right? Doesn't work. Uh-oh. Static class std vector. Ooh, garbage. Fatal error, one resolved external. So this must be static. Still have build errors. Wait, what am I doing wrong? Static class enumerator. Load game data, list of textures. Unresolved external symbol, public static class. So none of these should be static? I thought these had to be static because we want them to be of a thing, but making them static is an issue? Load game data, list of textures, vector, game textures. Lets you construct one and replace one in it. Has to be public, probably. Oh, we'll get there. You're good. Didn't realize you were accessing a member. No problem. Okay. Okay, fuck the static thing for a second, okay? Stop distracting me. Okay, let's get on track here. So, what's the first thing we're gonna do? When we call load game, I want it to handle all textures and everything on its own, self-contained. And this is gonna be in game logic. So we're gonna initialize, then we're gonna go game. Oh, well, let's import load game. Then we load game, and there we go. And this is gonna return an STD vector of some type we have yet to oh no, we haven't defined it. It's type game textures. With a capital letter? No. And we're gonna call it textures. We'll just call it textures, right? Is equal to load game. So now, load game. Wait, I did something wrong. No, I did something right. That was right. It's of object load game data though. So not that, it's just load game data. That's the object type. There we go. Okay. Woo! Let's go. Textures dot list of textures. That's gonna probably change. I don't want to do textures dot list of textures. Maybe we'll call it textures list. There we go. Not Schindler's List, textures list. So now whenever we need it, it's textures dot list. Okay, that worked. Now we just need to do all the logic, which is gonna be fun. Side to side, let's go. Copy line 1920 from game logic IXS to your load game function. 1920. This? Yeah. Don't worry. This is gonna get deleted, probably just outright, because that's gonna be later. Not deleted, but moved. Yeah, all this is gonna be moved inside, but we need to automate some shit first. Okay, so what do we do here? How do we make this as automated as we can? We're gonna have to use functions, obviously. We need to call create a texture. How do I do it in a way that's not difficult? Well, let's think about this. When we load a texture of any kind, we need to add one to this enumerated class. So I guess we'll call increase, or how about this? Add to texture, add to enum. We'll do this. We'll do this add to enum function. And this add to enum function, and all it's gonna do is just add to the enumerator up here. So I'm gonna go. Good luck, Gary. Good luck on your game. See you later, just shock. So personally, how I automate loading textures is by first creating a custom texture pack file format. I think that's what we're doing, aren't we? Just putting it in a vector. Where it loads all the textures loading at once, allowing for quick loads. Enums are types. What? You can't add to the enum. I'm not sure what you mean. What? Wait, so we have this enumerated class game textures, right? I want to make it so like I can be like, okay, we have pellet. Wait, these are caps, right? Pellet or snowflake or beam. And the idea is that we can do this shit automatically. And basically, I want to be able to add to this automatically. Is that really going to take a variable? Enumerators are canned spicy constants. Automatically from where? File? No, the idea here is that when we load the game, we're going to end up with a vector here that returns this entire list. Right? And that's all we're doing. I think. So maybe we're not even going to be making a struct here. Maybe we just do make it local here and we pass the vector around and we just keep changing it by adding to the enumerated class, you know? Or sorry, maybe we add the enumerated class to the main, whatever, load game function, and then it just returns this STD vector. Because all that vector is just that information of all of this, right? That's all we're doing here. Except every pellet is the equivalent of like the texture, the collision box. We're gonna call this later, this struct, that kind of deal, right? Why not make a single pellet snowflake beam type with their own loaders for it? Because I want to be able to automate this, you know? What if we end up with, I'm saying hypothetically here, what if we end up with like 50 different like bullet types, right? I want to be able to easily add to it. Or you can have it route through a STD variant. Well, can you really not add to an enumerator class after you make it? Surely there's a way to do this. There must be. Oh, wait, hold on. We'll look it up. C++ Reddit, can you add to an enum class? Need help with enums? Need a standard way of incrementing an enum class. And if there isn't, what is the best way to implement overloads for operator plus, minus, etc. switch? I'll probably get roasted, but I just use base enumerators and increment them as if they were ints and cast when I need to. So something like square, circle, rectangle, shape size, for loop, that. I would recommend using magic enum instead of last element trick. A switch is probably the way to do this in general. What? Why a switch? You're not relying on the underlying values being contiguous. I suspect there might actually be a way to automate this using templates. Assuming that value of enumerator class are contiguous, you can do something like enumerator class int ABC, static cast A. What the fuck? You can cast an enum class from its underlying type. So enum class for character is able to be cast to from character. Oh, so you're saying, so I do need to make it a type. I need to do something like, that. And now I can add to this uint32. Is that what we're adding here? I don't know. I've never done that before. It's so weird. I never use enumerator classes for this reason as well. It's a pain in the ass to iterate over them. They say no enum like in Rust or Java. They ain't special. It's just spicy constant. An enumerator class is still an enum. I mean, it's not, but I get it. What do you mean sprite or texture? This is potentially a miscommunication. Okay, hold on. Just to be clear, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I want to be able to load all of the bullet sprites into one vector on game launch. That is the point, okay? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna be calling upon this vector to load whatever bullet I decide to load when we load certain attacks. There, is that better? We're loading sprites, not textures. I think you're over-engineering it is what I'm saying. I don't think I am. I think I'm engineering the correct amount. I think we're on a proper amount of brain blast here. Cup of TJ, hello. How are the sprites themselves going to be instantiated? Well, that's what we're doing right now. The idea here is we're just going to be in our game logic, we're initializing, and then we're loading the game. I know this might be one and the same for you people, but we're still separating them. So we're gonna have load game, and the only purpose of load game is to load every sprite we're gonna need in, probably, just to keep it simple, one giant ass vector, and then we call The point is I want an enumerator class so we can call them by name. That kind of deal, you know? We'll probably end up having different vectors for like bullet sprites, attack types, that kind of deal. How are the sprites themselves going to be instantiated right now? And then you use an enumerator to access the vector by index. Do we want just an enumerator? Can an enumerator class not do the exact same thing an enumerator is? People would tell you to use a hash map or something. Yeah, fuck hash maps. The idea here is, just to be clear, the only difference between an enumerator and enumerator class is that every object is of its own type. You know? Every object is not like equals 0 by default, right? It's pellet, type, snowflake. The whole point of this is that if you don't do an enumerator class, you can do weird shit like pellet plus snowflake, like that kind of deal, right? Which makes no sense, like, to us as people, but like in the program it makes sense if it was a regular enumeration and not object specific. That's the whole point here. That's why we're doing this. No, you're misunderstanding the enumerator class. Enumerator class is a base type of int. If I were to do this, I'd make a regular enumerator type inside of the sprite class. What? An enumerator class is the same as an enumerator with extra rules. Yeah, but I want the extra rules, right? If nothing else, for just safety, right? You would rather have enumerator classes every time over like an enumerator, right? No, the rules are just scope, not type. Okay, but I only want this to be local if that's the issue, or local to this module. I don't even want to export this. The whole point of this, by the way, is to get put into a vector and then returned as that whole vector by reference, right? In here. So then we just have access to textures.list, and whenever I need to reference it, I can be textures.list bracket. Whoa. Where are you getting listed? Oh, I gotta save. Sorry. Textures.list bracket pellet. Like that kind of deal, right? That's the logic there. So whenever I need bullet type pellet sprite, the sprite, by the way, also containing the like collision information, anytime I ever need a pellet on the screen that can kill the player, that's what I type. That's the idea here. Imagine an enumerator class is just an enumerator for now. You'll see how different it is when you use it. Okay. So make them an enumerator of an int. Make the int equal to 0, 1, 2. Then load them in that order. Then you can do that. When you define enumerator types inside of your sprite class, you can access it like... Well, that doesn't solve our problem though, right? If we just make this a regular enumeration of those integers... I don't think that's what I want, because we're not just adding to the enumerator and just using the names. Like each of these names are going to carry with it information about like SDL rectangles and all that shit, right? We're loading this bullet module because we're going to be putting the struct bullet, which combines the sprite and the SDL rect collision box for our collider. And it's going to be all that information is going to be contained in, you know, vector list or texture.list bracket pellet, right? Pellet being like this little pellet on the screen, like that, like a Mega Man pellet, you know, like a bullet. If you define an enumerator type inside of your sprite class, you can access it. Okay, we can do it with your design. The problem is std vector game sprites is incorrect. You're storing an enumerator, essentially an integer, and not a sprite. If you want to store a vector of a sprite, you need std vector sprite. I'm thinking. I mean, could I not have... When I make... Could I not have... The whole point of this, by the way... well, sorry, not you guys know the whole point. The idea I was having was that we still need to type out the logic for, like, you know... When you add to the enumerator, it's not just adding the name, right? Each name is going to contain information, and this module was to create that information in the name. Is that not possible in an enumerated class? I thought the whole point of an enumerated class was objects that each contained unique information. How else would you make, like, a thing of sprites, a vector of sprites, if not to have that information? Enumerator class is not a class. What is wrong with this language? Brownie, man. The problem is you can't do that with an enumerator class. You don't add to the enumerator. Okay, so the problem here is this, the enumerator, right? So what else are we replacing with? Let's do variant. What exactly is needed for the variant? Fuck, it was with an A. Let's see. The class template STD variant represents a type-safe union. An instance of STD variant at any given time either holds a value of one of its alternate types, or in the case of error, no value. This state is hard to achieve, see value list by exception. As with unions, if a variant holds a value of some object type T, the object representation of T is allocated directly within the object representation of the variant itself. Variant is not allowed to allocate additional dynamic memory. So it's almost like it's... No, it's not static. That's different. But it's almost like a vector that's under control, or like an array it's under control, which is interesting. A variant is not permitted to hold references, arrays, or the type void. Empty variants are also ill-formed. Monostate can be used. A variant is permitted to hold the same type more than once and to hold differently CV qualified versions of the same type. So we do want this to hold our sprites then, right? Consistent with the behavior of unions during aggregate initialization, a default constructed variant holds a value of its first alternative, unless that alternative is not default constructible, in which case the variant is not a default constructible either. The helper class monostate can be used to make such variants default constructible. So I think what we're learning... C++ 26? Wait, they're already announcing features? Visit calls the provided functor with the argument held by the variant. Oh, based. Okay. Variant int float int. Ooh, maybe this is not what I want. We're sure we want a variant? A variant is what you described, but it's not what you want. How's it going, Gary? Corky bug. We're troubleshooting today. We're troubleshooting. Not troubleshooting, trying to work through what I misunderstood as something you could do in C++. A variant can hold object of a closed set of types. You only have one class sprite. STD vector sprite is what you want. Okay, but... Okay. Cool. So what we're gonna do is fuck the enumerated class. Not actually do that, but getting rid of it. Now, all we're gonna be doing, instead of this, is we're gonna have these instead be of object sprite, which we did import, so it does understand the term. So those are gonna be of object sprite, which I can do. We can import these. The game still loads. Okay, so there's no issues with like circular logic or whatever. So, how are we gonna do this? Well, I ask without you answering. What I'm gonna do is now we don't have to worry about an enumerator. We should not be returning load game data. It should be the address of load game data, correct? Or maybe it optimizes automatically, because I don't want to toss the whole goddamn thing here. I don't know if I want to toss like a whole like address, you know? Maybe that's a better way to do it. Because it's better to copy the address of that thing. Oh, but it is going to be local, isn't it? I don't know if I like that. We'll see. We'll have to test around. Maybe I don't toss the whole list. But then again, the vector is only going to be tossed once, right? And from there, it's going to be, yeah, it's one function. It's not going to hurt anything, right? Just let it be. It'll get elitted out. Okay. It does get destroyed the moment it goes out of scope. Okay, kind of. Yeah, sorry, I said something wrong. STD variant can hold one object, which has type in a closed set of type. Okay. Variant is one variable that could at any time be one defined type and only one of those types. Oh. Variant is one variable. Okay, we don't want, yeah, we want vectors. Okay. Okay, I can do this from here. We can fix it. I can fix this, okay? Not fix this, we're gonna make this. Okay. So now we need some logic here. So we're gonna call, actually, what am I doing here? Let's just write down the logic here. So we load a texture. We're gonna add one, we're gonna resize the vector plus one. My previous plan was to have that enumerated class, so however big the enumerated class was, we would resize vector to be that size. So now we need to do this every time we load a texture, is increase the vector by one size. I guess I could do something like L list of textures dot resize. And then just have like 500 or something stupid like that. Like that would solve our problems, but that feels weird. Plus, how big is the sprite data? 48 bytes. Ooh. It might get even bigger too. The sprite, actually, oh no. That's not enough. I need it to be of type bullet, because bullet's gonna have sprite and the collision box. So I think this, we're gonna have different vectors, aren't we? Son of a bitch. We're gonna have different vectors depending on what we're loading. There'll be different vectors we're going to be sending back in load game data, which is fine. We'll put like bullet list. Maybe that's a better way to do it. Load game data is correct. Load game is correct. This is going to be... Why couldn't you find that file? Bullet. Oh, whoops. 5. Doesn't work. Attempting to load a deleted function. Load game data. What? What? Why is this a deleted function? Wait, what? Let's do sprites first. You need to load sprite data first before the bullets data. Oh! You're correct. Thank you. We'll just do sprite list, I guess. List of sprites. List of sprites. List of sprites. List. Oh no, sprite list. Okay, so now game logic is having issues with these terms. What's wrong here? Export load game. Why is this having issues now? These are now undefined. Wouldn't you want the sprite class to keep track of what type of sprite it is? That way you can compare things like if sprite type equals bullet. Yeah, basically. I think What's Up has the right idea. We're keeping this a little bit simple. To build? Trying. There were build errors. Saying bullet void attempting to reference a deleted function. What? Oh no, it is type bullet. I had that right. I'm not referencing a deleted function, am I? Type bullet. Import bullets. Everything works here. This doesn't work because load game import's not loading. What? Load game. Why is that module loading? Did I miss a semicolon somewhere? No, this is all right. Load. Is it this that we're having issues with? Still doesn't load. Bullet sprite sheet texture, unreferenced local variable. What? Unreferenced local variable. What's going on? I'm a little confused. It's because you didn't call it bullet? Yeah, I guess not. Oh, your sprite doesn't have a default constructor, and here's the kicking part. A noob will write default constructor. The smartass me would not write bullet shit. Wait, what? STD vector bullet sprite list. STD vector bullet list of sprites. Why does calling this bullet? Oh, because you need to import the bullet type. Oh, I get it. Now this works. No, it doesn't. What the fuck? Unreferenced local variable. This texture. Why is this unreferenced? You just made it. It calls it here. Wait, why is this unreferenced? Local variable not initialized. Attempting to reference a deleted function. What is going on? Go bullets.ixx. Okay, we're in this module now. We are exporting bullets. We're only importing SDL header and sprites. This is the whole module. We haven't even called this function. It's not even in anything. The only difference is that this, I mean, I guess we'll just change the type to like int for now, just to have it. And now it runs. What the fuck? So calling this a bullet is mad issues? Why? Huh. I wonder what the issue is. Why would that cause issues? This is a C++ thing. You don't know, look at it. What? This is C++ thing you don't know. Let's look at it. Go to bullets. Oh, this. So we're exporting the struct bullet. This bullet contains information for sprites and collisions. This collision only talks about a rectangle. We are importing sprites and bullets, so it has all the information it needs, and SDL, so it has all the information it needs to create an object bullet. Bullets, go to line 7. Sprite. What's the issue here? Okay, I'm seeing line 7. Are we calling this sprite of bullet? Is that what we're calling it? Because I'm guessing this is not going to work. Okay, so bullet depends on a sprite. Yes, it does. Now go to sprite. Okay, we're in sprite. In sprite, in order to make one, you need a texture pointer, a rectangle, and a uint8 for the alpha value. Sprite has a user-defined constructor. It does. Yes, it does. Good job. Also, the void render gets in the way of the export class. What? Render? So, by having bullet here, but I do import sprites, doesn't it have all the information it needs? C++ rule here is that if you have one or more user-defined constructs, the implicit default constructor is implicitly deleted? Wait, the fuck? Okay. Oh my god. So, because our constructor for sprite contains more than one user-defined constructor, the implicit default constructor is implicitly deleted? What is that supposed to mean? And technically, bullet does indeed contain sprite, and sprite contains... Wait, none of these are even user-defined, unless you're saying I'm inputting the information, like not a user-defined object, but like a user-defined quality. So go back to bullets. Okay, we did that. Are you saying that we need to do something like sprite.sdl rect and then we give it its own value? I bet that's what you're going to say. You defined the constructor, but the void render is falsely texted. I don't know what you mean by that, Sonic Runner. You know what? I'm going to try it. Sprites, we're going to copy this. I'm gonna go to bullets. So basically, it's gonna have all the information of a sprite, but without calling it a sprite. I guess that's what we're gonna do, huh? Okay, so now we know sprite doesn't have a default constructor or implicitly deleted. Yes. If you're going somewhere... What? Just fix sprite? Oh, I thought it was going to be like X width, height, or whatever. We're going to define everything. Just fix sprite. Sort of, but isn't contractual information is missing? I don't know what you mean by that. Okay, so now another rule. If one or more of the member data do not have a default constructor, the class default constructor is implicitly deleted. If one or more of the member's data does not have a default constructor, the class default constructor is implicitly deleted. Okay, I think here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna break down sprite. I think I have the right idea. So we're gonna have, instead of having the sprite data that we're gonna be referencing, it's gonna be this. And then we're gonna delete sprite, where... Yeah, I think I'm right. The idea here is we're gonna take sprite dot whatever, and we're gonna make it equal to that texture, you know? So sprite dot input texture is equal to whatever, right? I think that's what we're gonna do, or is equal to that. Okay, so the bullet class does not have a defined constructor. Bullet constructor is deleted. Gary, why are you moving everything out of sprite? I'm not moving it. I'm saying, like, instead of having a sprite object inside a bullet, we just take all the information from the sprite that that object offers, make it equal to 4 different values, and then have all of these values be put into bullet. Does that make sense? The point of the class is to hold all the guts. Oh my god. Okay, so that's holding all the guts. Okay. If one or more of the member data does not have a default constructor, let's try to dissect what this means. If one or more of the member data does not have a default constructor, the class default constructor is implicitly deleted. The entire point of classes and structs is to encapsulate bunch stuff together. Don't unpack it in bullet. Maybe it's best to say be patient. There is a solution for this. Just let chat tell you. The problem is I don't even understand the path we're going on here, to be real with you. Okay, well, let's back up. Let's look at this together, chat. Let's see what you guys are trying to say here. In C++ rules, here is, if you have one or more user-defined construct, which is bullet, the implicit default constructor is implicitly deleted. So what you're saying is that when we encapsulate this bullet struct, which is currently valid, and we put it into a vector of another object, this object deletes the implicit value of bullet. Is that what we're trying to say here? Oh my god, I see what's wrong. Oh, what's up? Remember how I said your chat wasn't visible in here the entire time? Okay, this is why. If you're wondering why I'm only reading like half of what you say, I'm looking at this chat and I realize it's only capturing like a little bit of what you're saying. So you went from the bullet class does not have a default constructor. This is deleted to, so now look at oh, wait, now you're in here. What the fuck? So now look at resize. Resize requires T, bullet in this case, which is here. Requires T, bullet in this case, to be default constructed, so it yells at you. Is your name pronounced Kornstein? Cute! What does resize do? Oh, this is a vector, so the idea here is that we were going to be, every time we loaded a texture, it would be like x plus 1, where x is the current amount of textures, you know? That was the idea. But now I'm learning, fuck me? Is that what I'm learning? Oh, well, fuck me. Oh god. Maybe, can I do this at all? No. That doesn't work. Oh, does this need to be of size 5 too? Is that what I'm learning? Ah, but now this is having issues. Interesting. So we're having issues with vectors. Okay, well, we're getting somewhere. It does build now, so that's good. No, I mean, like, what is the definition of resize in a list? What? Use pushback or in-place back. You need data. Wait, I thought vectors were just better arrays where you can just define a size and it'll give you like a block of memory, whether you use it as an arena or not, where you just create a block of memory that's resizable and variable length and you can do all that shit with it. But because we're using an object that we created in the vector, there's issues with resizing the variable length array. That's where I'm confused. So you're saying that instead of resizing it, I need to do shit like list of sprites dot push back What is it? Push back. I actually don't know the proper terminology here. L list of sprites dot pushback. There we go. Pushback being vector pushback, vector popback. Vectors are the same as dynamic arrays with the ability to resize itself automatically. When an element is inserted, pushback function is used to push the elements of the vector from the back. The new value is inserted to the vector at the end after the current last element, and the container size is increased by 1. Oh, wow, that solves our problem. Okay, sweet. So now we're gonna push back 1. No instance of overloaded function std vector ti alloc matches the argument list. What? Now what do we have? So even just doing that is an issue. Okay. Pop back doesn't return a value. It just drops the last element of the container. You probably want push back this. Oh. Pop back. Push back. Okay. Is that what I have to do? Gary, you're making this a little bit too complicated. I don't think I am. This is just learning. List of sprites, pushback, bullet. You need to write a proper constructor here for the bullet class. Oh, sorry, I was doing some 2D array shit. So we're actually pushing with a bullet. Oh, I see. So we're pushing back. This is the element we're going to be adding in at the end, where we define some sort of constructor. So what is it? Sprite. List of sprites, create a sprite. What did I call that class? Sprite. Oh no, this is just a class with our constructor of all the information we need. So this needs a const bullet address. Oh Jesus. So sprite class needs like rectangles and shit, like create a texture. Wow, this is gonna be so complicated. And then this needs a renderer. Oh God, this needs a renderer? Oh, this is so much. This is fine. This is okay. I can make a requirement to load the game, require a renderer, because I do it after initialization. So when we have our game logic and we call load game function, it's also going to be using application.global, app.global renderer, and then I can toss over the renderer because I think that's the only thing we need to toss over. So now this is going to require a SDL renderer pointer, and we're going to call this path. And this is going to require path, etc., etc. In this case, this. Can I just drag that? Nope. M4, 84. So this is where we get this. So I think what we're going to do is make this all a function, because this looks so ugly. It's like 4 parentheses in curly braces. It's so much. 1, 2, curly, not. Okay, and this needs more as well. Bullet now has no constructors and no way to instantiate the object. What? Oh, because we need to make bullet here. Yeah, that's fine. Wait, also, why are we even using a list here? We're using a list because I want to be able, when we call like attacks later on, it's going to be like attack with some sort of parameters like Nova, and then another parameter like sprite dot pellet or something like that. That's the idea here. Or sprite pellet, like that kind of deal. So basically we call everything we need in one line for like how many bullets, how fast they're going, and then that's kind of deal. It's going to make development a lot easier when we actually develop the game. Also, I need music. What the heck? Why did it stop? There we go. Vibes. It wouldn't call bullet constructors at all. Bullet pointer is a pointer. It can default construct pointer. That would be a bunch of null pointers. You can use STD vector reserve if you want to just do one allocation per performance. It won't actually create any objects. If you say so. I think it's the easiest way to do it. I think. You need to write a proper constructor for bullet, didn't I? What better constructor is there for that? How is a constructor different from a struct with like 2 requirements? Is that really not a good way to do things? Why would I do that? I'm trying to think about why you would do that. Why would I want a constructor instead of this struct? Okay, then write a no-R constructor for sprite. Well, no, this makes sense because we're doing shit with it. So it makes sense why I would want like all this saved, you know? Because we're calling like render and this needs like a bunch of like variable names and shit. I think that's a good one, but you're saying that here I should have like oops, god damn it. God damn it. Oh my lord. Okay, sprites I want to get rid of. Okay. So, we're saying that we want bullet constructor sprite local, or no, we do call this sprite, and then SDL rect collision. This is going to be now m underscore sprite underscore and m underscore collision underscore, where these two going to be equal to the values of this and this, except you absolutely need to make what they are first, huh? So you're saying, wait, this doesn't work. There. So this is how you would do it. What do you have an issue with? No default constructor exists for class sprite. Huh? Not exactly no way. I unsure and had to check, but this compiles. Struct inner int, struct outer. Whoa, god. So, what's wrong here? Wait, did I forget something? Semicolons, parentheses. What's wrong here? No default constructor exists for class sprite. Sprite. Hold on. Okay, maybe I'm confused. What is a default constructor? I thought a default constructor was like int or boolean or something. Try const sprite address? Oh, that would make sense. The rectangle will also not change. Although I guess it might change, but whatever. Default constructor means a constructor that requires no parameters. In most object-oriented... Thank you for following, Captain Walrus! Coo-coo-ca-choo, motherfucker! In most OOP languages, a default constructor is a constructor with no arguments. Oh, like an integer. Because an integer doesn't need an argument, does it? It can take one. You need member initialization. Think of it as like default settings is what constructed with no other information provided. Bullet, mSprite, mCollision, collision. What? I need member initialization. So we define bullet here. mSprite, sprite, collision. Wait, people always told me move bullet first or put the there, but this is better then, huh? No, this still doesn't work. Wait, this needs parentheses? No shot. No, this is wrong. What is the argument to integer? Nothing? It doesn't need one, does it? That's why I say maybe I'm confused about what a default constructor is. This doesn't work. Oh, wait, you're saying... Oh, I know what you're saying. This needs to be sprite and shit. So hold on, copy. Saying this goes here? Copy. Like that? And then we delete these. How the fuck does that work? Wait, what does that mean? I didn't have to do that shit here. That works? Oh, well, that doesn't work for different reasons, but unrelated to that. Specifically, that doesn't work yet. My God. Unreferenced local variable again. Oh, God. Cannot convert from texture to sprite. Oh, I need to delete this. There we go. Runs. Wow, that was so complicated. How in the hell does that make sense? What's up with the secret plus plus tech? Yeah, no kidding. You can delete everything in the braces now. It's redundant. What? No shot. No, it doesn't work. mSprite is not a non-static data member or base class is of base bullet. So these would need to go before then, right? Yes. But now I have a ton of issues. No, I need the constructors. Exporting individual class members is not allowed. Yeah, I think this does need to be in the argument list. Because those guys are uninitialized until the constructor is called. Oh. You still need the braces, but nothing needs to be in them. What? What the fuck? Okay, holy shit. How? Why? Chat, can I do that for every constructor? Can I make every constructor a colon and then that? Does that work? Hold on. Fuck you. That's not gonna work. Can I do that here as well? Kind of based. It's... Well, I guess oh, no. Do we need the const still? I mean, I guess we should have it, but... No, we don't. We should have the address though, huh? Yes, that works, but there are some times when you can't. That's how I'm kind of learning C++ works. It's like, I'm asking, oh, should I do this all the time? And you're like, well, sometimes, but not always. It's like, oh, okay. I guess being good at C++ means knowing when not to do something. Maybe that's like a good lesson, huh? Wow. Empty curly braces. That is weird. That's crazy. Remove line 8 in line. What's the error now? None now. It's best practice to use member initializer list whenever you can. Interesting. So now we understand the answer, which is, okay, now I need you guys to explain it to me, okay? Now, I know this might be frustrating to you, but I'm learning a lot. Thank you. Can somebody kindly explain to me why this is the only way this constructor can work and not have the traditional constructor setup? I think it's because Sprite contains like 4 different arguments, and maybe because of that, this needs to be initialized this way. I don't know what else that would like require that. I don't understand why this is the only way this can work and not like a traditional like this kind of constructor for a class, you know? Like you would think, I just don't understand what's unique about this. I guess I should just, maybe while you're answering that, I should look up like a default constructor. I should really understand what that actually means. IBM, okay, based. Default constructors, C++ only. Ooh, look out, reactors. Okay, hold on, we're a little bit too, get out of there. Oh my God, cookies, fuck you. Ugh. Chat, sometimes it just does not want to work. Okay. There we go. Default constructors. A default constructor is a constructor that either has no parameters, or if it has parameters, all the parameters have default values. So if it has an integer, it has the integer 4. If it's like a character, it has the character A. These are already like default values, you know? So like x equals 4, int x equals 4, make the parameter x kind of deal. It's best practice to use the member initializer list whenever you can. You should, unless you can't, I guess. It's not the only way. Recranston was pointing another way. This is fine too. Okay. If no user-defined constructor exists for class A and one is needed, the compiler implicitly declares a default parameterless constructor A. This constructor is an inline public member of its class. The compiler will implicitly define A when, I know it's like block, but whatever. When the compiler uses this constructor to create an object of type A, the constructor will have no constructor, initializer, and no body. Interesting. A constructor of class A is trivial if all the following are true. Wow. Okay. Like all functions, a constructor can have default arguments. They are used to initialize member objects. If default values are supplied, the tailing arguments can be omitted in the expression list of the constructor. Note that if a constructor has any arguments that do not have default values, it is not a default constructor. If a constructor has any arguments that do not have default values, it is... Okay. One constructor and 2 default constructors. Which one's which? This is a default constructor with no argument. This is a default constructor with 1 default argument, int equals 0. And this is a regular constructor. Okay. So you guys were saying that by increasing the size of a vector of object type X, doing that deletes the default constructor, which is int equals 0. Is that what I understand it to be? I'm going to follow this up with why does resizing a vector of object X delete the default constructor, but we'll get there. When the constructor body runs, the language guarantees that the object is in a valid state. Valid state includes that all members have been constructed. If a member is not in the member initializer list, it is default constructed. Therefore, members that don't have default constructors need to be given in the member initializer list. It is because you had a non-default constructor. So you're saying that the problem was I had non-default constructors, which was like all of everything. The reason it is recommended to always specify all members in the member initializer list is that a constructor is going to be called either way. The default one if you don't specify. So the constructor does work, and then you override something with like member equals value in the body, wasting performance. Resize creates a new object in place if the new size is larger than the old size. That, thank you. Oh my god, that makes so much more sense to me. The resize creates the new object, and the reason why we have issues resizing the vector is that our new object has issues with default and non-default constructors. Specifically, it had non-default constructors in it. So the new objects on that vector, that space that we create, it does not actually... It's not a valid object like we're trying to tell the compiler it is. So because we're giving it basically garbage data, there's issues compiling the program, or at least the compiler senses garbage. Okay, that makes sense to me. I understand why we have this limitation. It's a little frustrating that it took me this long to understand, but I get it more now. So when we load this vector, it's fine for us to like do something like L list of sprites dot push back. Push back works better. Still might have the same issue, but it works better only because we can create a bullet with the like specifications we need accordingly, right? Not that bullet. This bullet. First bullet. So with these parameters, and when we define this new pushback bullet, that's fine because it is a valid object. Okay. Holy shit. Jesus Christ, that took me forever to understand, but now I get it. Okay. Wow. All right. Jesus Christ. Okay, so fuck bullet. We'll make a sprite first. Okay, this is of type sprite. This will be of type sprite. This is list of sprites. Now we're gonna push back with type sprite. Okay. Holy cow, that took forever. I understand now so much more about vectors than before. Coder at Paradise, thank you for phrasing it that way. I understand now because we were creating a new object when we were resizing the vector. C++ will happily generate constructors for you. I think 3 different ones, but if you define one, it assumes you only want that one, which I do, Saucy Fajita. Saucy Fajita, you're not saucy, you're sassy. STD vector sprite, yep. You got the right idea what's up. That's what we're gonna do first. Pushback copies the value to the vector. Yes, but Coder at Paradise, pushback automatically generates a new spot on the vector, right? So if we have a vector of size default, which is size 0, I believe, or maybe size 1, either way, when we create this new sprite and we add it to this vector via pushback, that adds a new slot to vector. Yes, pushback and in place back will auto resize. Okay, solves all my problems. Okay, wow, that is so complicated, but I understand. See, people say C++ is complicated, but like once you understand it, it's not that hard, right? Vector needed to create an object temporarily in order to do the resize function, and I fucked up by giving it an object with garbage data. Okay, I understand. Or not garbage data, but not default, not a valid object is what I should say. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna call some functions. Okay, so we're gonna make a sprite object with these parameters. It needs a texture, it needs a rectangle for the sprite cutout, it needs a sprite size and an alpha value. So we're gonna make a function for this. So we're gonna call it std vector sprite increase vector size. No, I don't want this, right? I don't want to keep tossing around the vector. Because this is really going to be everything, you know? So we're going to call for sprite, but is there a shorter way to do this than just having, okay, hold on. I did this a few times. Create a texture calls to the surface, sprite calls for, wait, where am I creating these rectangles? Oh, here, that's why. So there's where I'm getting our rectangles from. So sprite needs a texture. Oh, we need to load textures first before we load sprites. But that's okay. I can just move these over. Because all these have is just the renderer and those. And this has the renderer, so we just do this. This will be all of our texture sheets. Should we have a vector for textures? No, but we could. You're gonna need an SDL texture pointer from somewhere to instantiate the sprite objects. Yeah, don't worry, we got this. And he's gonna have, instead of app global renderer, it's path. Path. There we go. Now we have textures. Okay. I guess this is fine because we're only gonna have like 3 textures. The bullet sheet, the hero, the background. I guess we could do the same thing and just toss a vector to here from another function, but don't worry, we won't stress about that today. So we have some textures here. Now we're gonna grab the sprite from that. So we already have this information, believe it or not, in initialization. Sorry, in-game logic, which is here and here. We can delete these. I do need to define rectangles here, so copy. Oh, and textures. Fuck. Load game. This doesn't need to be here anymore. Okay, so now we have rectangles, but that's fine. And then now we load these. The difference being is that this does not go in its own line. It's gonna go in the pushback because we're gonna create the sprite in here because that's what's gonna go in the vector. So bullet sprite. Okay, hold on. Let me just do something real quick. Bullet sprite is not loaded anywhere because it's not a sprite. It will be a sprite. Can I not call that whole thing here? I guess not, huh? Expected and in parentheses. I guess I have to create it on another line and then make it in there. Sprite. So this now requires a sprite, which is bullet sprite. Is that it? STD. Oh. I think this works. Delete the name. You are not defining the variable. Am I not? Oh, I'm not. This is pellet. Pellet. I think this is correct. You are now. Okay. I think there's an unnecessary data dependency in your sprite class. Do sprites really need that third parameter? What parameter? Sprite. What does sprite need? Sprite needs SDL texture, which is the texture path. It needs the rectangle to cut the sprite out of the sheet. It needs the sprite size. So you're saying the actual size of the sprite I guess that could go under render, huh? Because render also cares about sprite size, doesn't it? Or, well, the size of what it's rendering. Okay, I guess that makes sense, but it's fine. We can go for that for now. Never mind, you're not gonna see it now? What? You were trying to pass the sprite directly into pushback before? Thank you, Mweddy! Hi, Mweddy! Thank you for following yesterday. I don't know if I said that, because I think you followed and I didn't say anything. Okay. Also, do you guys see how close we are to 1,000 followers? Oh, we're so close. Okay, so now we have our thing and we pushed it back and now this exists. Okay. Sweet. Okay. Wow, that took a while. Is there really no cleaner way to do this? I mean, obviously we can get rid of size and stuff. I mean, it is what it is. We're calling different functions. That's why I think this can be made into a function. Like, function that returns an SDL texture pointer. But then this is the SDL texture pointer function. We're just giving it a name. There must be an easier way to do this. Where maybe we call a function that requires a rectangle, this SDL texture pointer, and then it just adds to this. That's what we're gonna do. Hold on, I can do this. We're gonna be returning, I don't wanna pass the vector along. We're returning a sprite. Returning a sprite. And this sprite will be called make a sprite. This is such a bad idea. This make a sprite will require SDL. I mean, it's basically all the requirements of a regular sprite. We're just, In C++, you can define a variable like type variable name constructor. If you want to create a variable when passing into pushback, you just use type constructor arguments. But the temporary is created, copied, and destructed when you do these kind of inline things. Okay. Okay, so now we have our pellet. Now we're gonna add, yeah, I think we could definitely make this a function where we push back shit. It must be. Hold on, we can do this better. I believe. We are gonna toss around that vector. Vector address, maybe? Maybe like the address of the vector we toss around? No, it's gonna take as an input the address of the vector, and then we output the address of the vector. Okay, we can do that. Add to vector. Add sprite to vector, because we're gonna make more than one. Boom, boom. And the parameters it's gonna take is, in this order, SDL, texture pointer, SDL, rect, SDL, rect, optionally. It doesn't need the alpha value yet. And we're also gonna need the std vector address. Oh god. Sprite address path. Oh, we'll call it vector. Vector list. Okay, this texture needs, oh, we don't name them yet, do we? Okay, copy, paste. All right, I think this is what we do. Now we have a texture. We'll call it texture. Rect1. Rect2. Okay. Please don't wrap pushback. What are you doing now? Oh God. Oh God, everyone's panicking. Okay, so the idea is that we're recreating a lot of work and I don't want to have to type this thing multiple times. So the idea here is we handed a rectangle, a texture, the sprite. No, not the sprite. The vector, the address of the vector, not the whole vector, just the pointer. And then we push back the vector pointer and then we toss it back. Right? That's okay, right? I'm pushing it back, but it's with love, okay? So we are going to copy and paste a few things. So copy, paste. Doesn't this, no, it's fine, it's fine. So we call rect1. Oh, we already have recs. Oh no, we're good, we're good. So now we're gonna make a sprite. Yeah, this can call sprite. That's fine. Sprite pellet, which is here. How do I give it a name though? Maybe we make it like an STD, or not STD string, but like a const path where, or const character thing where we like name like what we want it to be called. I guess that's a good way to do it, huh? Sprites in place back. No. Because create a texture can take care of that, right? Create a texture already has the name. And that's what we're tossing it. We're tossing it this function. Listen to what's up. You can place the parameters of the thing you're pushing back with mplace back. This is cursed. That would shorten your code significantly. Well, let's try it my way. I'm gonna learn this way. So we have the name of the texture. In fact, we have the whole system here. Sprite, temp sprite. And we're gonna define it as texture address of text. Oh no, that texture is a pointer. Texture, which requires the address of? No. Come back to that in a second. Then it's gonna require rect1, rect2, and then oof, 0 for now, I guess. So issues all over the place. Rect2. There we go. Now it's valid. Now we're going to grab this and we're going to push back this path, or whoops, vector list dot push back temp sprite. Is that what it's going to be called? Return vector list. It's probably going to be called that in the vector, isn't it? I guess we do need to give it a name. And then it's also going to ask for a const or character pointer name. And this name is going to be what we call this. That's not going to work, is it? Yeah, because it doesn't know what it's asking for here. I am making this hard, aren't I? I'm making this very difficult. This is so unnecessary it hurts, but I can't look away. Oh, come on, it's not that bad. Vectors are not a map. There's no name. Oh, based. Okay, well, fuck the name then. Can I give it a name? This is why we wanted enumerated classes. I foresee a valuable lesson. Glad chat didn't succeed in dissuading him. What? I say this with love. I can see the disaster that is about to happen, but I can't look away. Wait, what's wrong with it? It works. It's based. Okay. And then we're going to call this function add sprite to vector. And we're going to call it twice. Boom, boom. Okay. And now we're going to fill in all of that. Okay. This is based. Okay, so we're gonna need the texture, which is this, comma. Then we're gonna need the rectangle, which is oh god. Can I establish it inside? Is it gonna be gentle? Fuck! No, we have the same problem! Oh, chat, we have the same problem. I want to see the parameters on the right and see what's going on with std vector sprite address, std vector sprite. Oh, sorry. Is that not showing? So here, let me show you. Okay, so this was the rest of it. So it's std vector sprite address vector list. So the idea is that we're gonna have this vector, right? But if you toss over the vector, you're only tossing a copy of it. So the idea is we're gonna be passing the address of this vector to these functions. This function is gonna push back on the address of the vector and then return the address. And then that's gonna be the new vector. And then that's how it's gonna work. And then we make this object. That's my logic. Is that not working? Vectors are not a map, there's no name. Yeah, I can see the valuable lesson. Wait, what's the issue? All right, I give up. All right, what's the issue here? Before I go any further, everybody's laughing at me. What is wrong with this? I thought I know. What's wrong with tossing the address of a vector and then push back in that address? Is there an issue there? Like, am I not allowed to do that? Just so we don't waste all of our time here, you know? Place the parameters of the thing you're pushing back with mplace back. What is mplace back anyway? Doesn't do anything. Google mplace back. Mplace back. What do you do? Appends a new element to the end of a container. This element is constructed through allocator traits construct, which typically uses placement new. If after the operation the new size is greater than the old capacity, a reallocation takes place in which all the iterators, including the end, and all references to the elements are invalidated. Otherwise, only the end iterator is invalidated. 17. Excuse me. Put the arguments to the sprite constructor in there. Mplace back and then put it all in there? All the code that you wanted to get rid of was arguments to push back. Now they're just going to be arguments to add sprite or whatever it's called. You're not saving anything. In fact, only adding code with the vector passing. Oh, cute. Well, the idea... Oh, this is so, like... I'm trying to think about how we can actually save time here. The idea is because this vector is going to contain so much information. Is the answer to make like a new struct somewhere that like contains all of this information for Sprite? But that's what this is for. Sprite has this information. So where in the program am I going to be calling and making a bunch of sprites? Well, it'd be in the load game, right? So maybe this is where all the load data goes. But now I was like, oh, okay, I don't want all that shit in like one big block here, but maybe it has to be. Maybe we do something like bullet pellet or something like that. And then it contains all the information for like, you know, the bullet. Okay, well, if we're getting rid of all this. And then bullet, pellet, whatever. And then that's it. And then it's like, you know, hero. And then it has all the information for the hero kind of deal. And then we push back a shit ton of stuff, you know? Push back hero kind of deal. Let's go back to our game logic here. Grab the hero sprite. Whoops. Copy. Paste. Maybe this is just what we have to do. It seems like a very inefficient way of doing things, but I mean, if I have to. I mean, that's just might just be what we have to do, huh? If you call it add bullet instead, you can hard code the rect values and stuff. A more fancy solution would be to make bullet a subclass sprite and then set the hard coded values in the bullet constructor. If you see yourself making a bunch of variables with the same prefix like hero texture, hero position, hero blah, it's probably best you could have done was make a struct hero texture position blah. Use mplace back like I told you. Okay. Why? Like, I understand. Like, what's wrong with pushback? I thought pushback solved our problems because we didn't want to use resize. Doesn't pushback just grab this sprite and just add it on the sprite vector? Like, why do we need to mplace something now? Also, is this gonna work? Hold on. Game logic. So now, instead of hero sprite render, we're now going to be grabbing off the vector and then rendering that. I don't have a hero anymore. Wait, I deleted it. Oh shit. No, it's a sprite. Sprites all have access to render. So it's gonna return, well, let's actually load the fucking thing first. What's it gonna give me? Load game data. Okay, so load game data texture list. We'll call it texture or sprite list. Sorry, sprite list. Okay. Ha 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 ha. Sprite list, and this sprite list load game data is undefined. Because we did not import load game. That's why. Okay, and this is going to be equal to load game function, but it requires app.globalRenderer. Okay, and now how in the hell do we grab that sprite list dot pellet dot render? Oh, whoops, sprite list. No member pellet. Is it sprite list bracket pellet? Dot render? What's the syntax here? Or is it 0? It's gonna be 0, isn't it? Int 0. What? Parentheses? I'm trying to think about how this works. Okay, I'm looking at chat now. In place back does the same thing as pushback, but allows you to pass the arguments into the constructor of the vector of the elements to it. Oh, sassy fajita. People told me like that 3 different times, and when you say it, mwah, makes sense. Thank you. I agree in principle. Oh, so you guys are saying instead of having just like a bunch of lines like a dumbass, you have like, instead of just and then pushback, you're saying like just place back and put all of these parameters in it. That might be better for you then. What is the load game data type? Well, load game data is of type vector sprite list. So this sprite list is a vector of this size. So are you saying this should be of size 2? Well, no, that doesn't work. This should be sprite list 1 dot render. So something about referencing that array that we just made, or that vector we just made, is having issues grabbing it. It does register the dot render correctly. It's just this array referencing is weird. No, it's a load game data with a vector in it. Wait, what? Oh, no, that's right. Yeah. Load game data, which is a vector in it. And we created an object called sprite list. Load game, this function is going to return a load game data, which is a vector. So this is now a load game data object type with a vector in it. Now we're loading this. Oh. That's confusing. I get it now. I get it. So I shouldn't be calling this sprite list. It should be sprite list container. Ooh. I get it. Ooh, great naming, Gary. So now this will run. Chat, oh God. Oh, it's crashing. Oh, Jesus. Okay, that didn't work. Exited with code error. Okay. Well, we have the right idea. Success? Maybe not. Yeah, you got it. Okay, I got you. Sprite list.spritelist.0. Okay. This is why, by the way, I wanted enumerated classes to start this, because I didn't want the vector containing the sprites. I didn't want the vector containing the sprites to be named 0, 1, 2. I wanted them to have explicit names like pellet. Your return is wrong. Return load game data. Like that? But that doesn't return anything. Oh, wait, I'm a moron. It needs to return load L texture container. Why is it called texture container? I don't know. Should be sprite container. Don't fucking judge me. Return sprite container. It is now going to be returning L sprite container dot sprite list. Nope. Okay, just that. Sorry. Okay, now this will work. Yeah! Fuck! Well, we rendered one of these things. My guess is pellet was 0, hero is 1. So we rendered the pellet first and then the hero. So this should be 1, this should be 0. Now we have the bullet on top. There we go. Wow. What a journey we went on today, Angus the Bus. Oh my goodness. Holy cow. All I wanted, it was like that Rick and Morty meme where it's like, all I wanted was like a quick journey to be like, hey, let's organize our textures in a vector. And it's just, I went on this goddamn like 3-week adventure of just like, oh my God, we learned so much about a container today, chat. How was I supposed to know that resizing a vector, like causes you to create a temporary object that needs to be valid. So having like a non-default constructor in the object value makes it invalid. So the whole thing fucking crashes. How was I supposed to know that? Well, now I do. And now we're one step closer to being more superior to Python. Now I know what you're thinking. Gary, is it possible to be more superior to Python programmers as a C++ programmer? Every day, baby. Every day. You learn C++. You shame the Python AI users. The Rust tech bros, okay? The clarity at which you just explained that blows my mind. Well, trial by fire, bitch. I'm so proud, but this is fun. What's up? I'm glad you find it fun because I swear to God, you must be the most patient person in this goddamn world. I bet you're like tearing your hair out like, why doesn't he understand it? Just read, stop typing shit. By the way, if you want to allocate space in a vector without running any constructors, you can use reserve. What? You're telling me I can arena with .reserve. Hold on, chat. Does that solve all of my problems? Can I do that? No, I can't. It's not going to solve my problems. Chat. I have a question. No, it doesn't. No, I can't. I'm not going to do it. No, I'm going to do it. Okay, chat. If I made you, could you, I'm not saying give me the answer. Is it possible for somebody of my skill level to easily replace the names of the 0, 1s, whatever in the vector with actual names like pellet? Is that a thing I can do? I think I can. There must be a way. It is trivial. Do it. Okay, hold on. Don't tell me the answer. I'm gonna figure this out. It's trivial. No, I don't know how, because I don't want to override the texture with a string. It is easy though, huh? You'll never know unless you try. You can use an enumerator for indexing or use an unordered map. Wait, an enumerator? Wait, we're back to square one? I started with enumerators and you all were like, no, you're a moron, Gary. Don't start with enumerators. You can't load objects into enumerators. So now you're saying that we are going to use enumerated stuff, but we're just using it for like naming, not for actual storing as an object. The enumerator is an indexer. What? You can use enumerators for indexing or use std unordered map. Okay, we're not using any maps, all right? No, fuck maps, all right? We're gonna do enumerators. Okay, enum. Names of names of objects, names of sprites. Okay, I can do this. 0 equals hero. Fuck. Do I need to give it a type? I guess it's an enumerator. It's always an integer, right? Hero equals 0. And it's a comma. Pellet equals 1. Okay, that's all. That's the whole goddamn enumerator. Enum classes. I hate enums. Oh, it is enum classes. Oh, it's all coming around, boys. Well, we started with enum classes today, and then, fuck, that turned into a nightmare. We would rather have enum classes, though, because we don't want the ability to add sprites with each other, you know? Move it outside, export it so the other module can use it? Oh, no way, really? Holy shit. Wait, why? Hold on, I know the shortcut. Shift, tab. export enumerated class names of sprites hero 0 pellet 1. So this is an index, huh? Do I really need to export it? Can I not apply it here before it gets exported? How would I apply, in any case, how would I apply this index? I've never used an index before in C++. How would I apply this index to this vector? Specifically, this vector. Even if I exported both and did it in game logic, I mean, it's the same idea, right? Also, if that's the case, I should actually reorder this so the hero is indeed in spot 0. I just don't like that these have to be in order now. Move it outside, export it so other modules can use it. Sprite list. Oh! Wait, that works? Hero is undefined because we don't have... That's what I want to do, is this. But how do I grab it? It's just an alias. Yeah, that's the goal, Daddy McGee. Also, hi, Daddy McGee. Sprite list, sprite, name of sprites, hero, enum class reminder. Oh! Wow, I should rename that, huh? No, this doesn't work. So it's, oh, that works. Did I spell it wrong? Names of sprites. That doesn't work, but this does. The fuck? Huh? Definitely doesn't work. Now they both don't work. Or maybe I should just copy this and just paste it in game logic? So now I can just do hero pellet. That doesn't work. Is it because this is a class? That is it. Oh, that worked. Ah. Use block, not dot. Oh, well, shit. I like this more. All right. I don't know how much well. No, I don't like this. We're gonna, okay, hold on. Copy. Okay, that's fine. So now we're going to boom, boom. But now we're gonna rename this. Fuck this name. We'll call it N because it's name. Name block hero. Name block pellet. Doesn't work because double colon must be a class or namespace name. So using namespace N does not work. Why? Why does that not work? Save files. Oh, shit. Oh, you're a goddamn hero. Okay, does this run? It does not, because... left bracket, binary bracket, no operator found which takes a right-hand operand of type N. There is no acceptable conversion. Okay. Yeah, now that doesn't work. So what's wrong here? Enum class N. So is this because this is a class now? Is that what's going on? That is it. Okay, so something about it being a class is fucking things up, huh? You need to cast it. Oh, I like that. Enum class n u int 34. Except it should be a colon. Wait, what? U int 34 is not a type. Oh, is it U int 34? U int? U int? U int? U int? What? Hello? Int. There. Oh my god, we did it. Holy shit. We're done. Fuck. Maybe it doesn't need to be an int. Maybe this can be like a character. UN32. Thank you. Chat. That's based. Okay, there we go. Type def uint32. Holy shit. Wow. That was complicated. Control Shift S. Still doesn't work. Something about it being an enumerated class is the issue here. I mean, I guess I could just make it an enumerator, but I really want to take advantage of C++ features, you know? 34-bit integers. Oh, what the fuck is N? N is name. So whenever we need name, it's like name hero, name pellet. That's how I'm going to remember it. Because we're going to be typing that a lot, all right? It's uint32t, but I think SDL made the uint32 alias for you. Yes, you are correct. It is a type def. Yeah, see, type def, and type def is a C-based, like, language, because C++ has using, C has type def, and SDL is a C library, so that's where that comes from. Sorry, please use enumerator. No, I want to use a enum class. Why don't you just name it something that explains what it is? Because we're going to be typing it like a million times. And I know what it is, and in the end, isn't that what matters? Going to go bald with all this hair pulling? No, it's what makes it fun. Chat, you have to understand, okay? The stuff I'm learning now from you guys, I'm gonna remember forever. Like, I am confident. I now know more about vectors than is probably healthy for somebody of my hour age. Because right now we're going on hour 75 of learning C++, right? I know a lot about vectors now. If what you want is integers, you want a normal enum, not a C++ one. But what if I did want a C++ one? We might as well learn it now because we only have like 10-20 minutes left on stream. So do you guys want to like quickly go over what syntax I'm missing? Because clearly the only issue is that I could just make this an enumerator and we're done. It's there, right? Boom. There's our images loaded from a vector, right? It's perfect. But making this in an enum class, a C++ feature, is something weird is going on, and I just don't know the syntax to make it work. STD to underlying N hero. Never mind, we're not doing class. Fuck that. Okay, I got a taste of I got a taste of that lambda shit in C++ right now, and we're good, chief. All right, we don't need no lambda syntax. You guys didn't tell me we were going that deep. Okay. Whoo. Whoa. Hey, chill there. It's like it's like going over to like a person's house and being like, hey, let's go watch a movie, and then they pull down their pants and it's like, I just wanted to watch a movie. Okay, you guys pulled down your pants for a second. That was a little much, but it's okay. We're gonna get through this together. We now have what I wanted 3 hours ago, which was all of the textures in the game are gonna be I gotta switch these, it's gonna bother me. All the textures in the game are now loaded via vector. Oh my god, we're done. Now, I think what I want, somebody was saying earlier that all of this should just go under a struct. Is that true? I don't think I need it. I don't think I need it. I think this is fine for our purposes for this game. I don't want to have scope creep. I am learning a lot, by the way. I'm glad we're making this game. I just don't want scope creep. So I think we're just going to stick with this as like a way of making every texture and sprite. So what are we doing tomorrow? I think tomorrow we're doing collision, right? So the goal tomorrow is to make it so that this spawning thing here, where my face is the hero character and that pellet right there is the bullet that's going to kill me. Can we just... Nah, that's fine. The goal is tomorrow to make a collider where on program start, like here, my face gets deleted off the map because they're quote unquote colliding. And if I moved my face like 20 pixels over, this doesn't hit me, so my face stays on the screen. That's all I want to do for a collider tomorrow. I think I can do that in 3 hours. Namespace N, export a new name of sprite. Nah. C++ just keeps piling new things on itself to fix the bugs from the pile of stuff they added. Well, I don't mind it. I think, chat, I think I'm getting away with a lot here because we're using modules. Like, do you guys know, please, for the love of God, if you guys ever learn C++ on your own, or if you teach anyone, get them to install the newest, like, C++ shit and just import STD. Just never having to worry about what header you have at the top of your file when you're starting is such an ease off your shoulders, chat. It's indescribable. If I want to have, like, a C-based library with the RNG, like, chrono shit, like, if you wanted to do, like, I remember there was something we made weeks ago, which was, like, when I first started, like, on day 3 or 4, it was like, hashtag include, it was, what did we have? We had, IOStream, string, chrono, fucking C-based library, something else, and now we can just have import STD. Holy shit, just, it's so nice to have modules, chat. It's so beautiful, okay? I think this is doing a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to, like, making the program, because look at this, what the fuck? Nah, I'm gonna make them use C++ 2018! By the way, ignore this red squiggly for SDL quit here. This is literally fine. This is IntelliSense not reading the modularized C library. So just, it's fine. It is an active enumerator. In fact, SDL mouse. There we go. Now it reads it. I just need to start typing another one. Also not a fan of include. That's what I hear. So I have a question for you, chat. If I wasn't using imports and I was using headers with like not type defs, but like if defs and all that shit, are there any issues I would have ran into so far with like name overlapping and shit? Also, you may see more bullets tomorrow, but we'll test that. Also maybe, oh no, scope creep, Gary, keep it goals. Okay, tomorrow, collider engine. Day after tomorrow is movement. So we're gonna run into the bullet. Then the day after is maybe creating an enemy, I guess, at that point then, right? Who shoots the bullet. Create an enemy, stands in one place, shoots the bullet, bonus credit for making it move. And extra bonus credit if I can just kill it. Okay, woo! I think it's funny that Gary wants to do collision before movement. It's necessary, right? Like how? Like how do you make a Mario game where Mario doesn't interact with terrain? How do you make a Galaga? Well, I guess Galaga, you can just move the ship around. But like, don't you need something to interact with to like, you can't just have Mario floating in space. Like he needs to collide with something. There are no collisions if nothing moves, though. Yeah, well, no, there is. I mean, it's easy, right? In this case, if this bullet is overlapping with my fat face on the screen, then yes, they are colliding. Delete the face. You guys don't understand how hard this will be for me to implement. I just want to put that out there, okay? You little ankle biters. Okay, this shit's hard to implement for somebody like me because we need to make like rectangles referencing other rectangles, and if they interact, then do something. We got to have like SDL events in the game logic loop. We got to actually do something in the game logic loop, which we haven't even done yet besides render a pixel and make the background white. It's literally all our game logic is, chat, is make the background white, render this sprite, render this other sprite on top of it, render the whole screen so you can see it, and then clear it, and then keep rendering it. So as this is going on, it's not actually just a static picture. It's actually clearing at, well, I don't even have a frame rate yet, so I don't know, 1,000 times a second. It's recreating these images over and over and over again. Yeah, because we don't have like a frame rate cap on anything, which we're gonna have to have before we even have movement, but whatever, we'll get to it later. Not really. Maybe circular dependencies. No, we've had that problem this morning, or a few hours ago. We already fixed what we were doing for circular stuff. Gary is just discovering test-driven development. Answer is SDL intersect rect. SDL has intersect. Oh, no way. SDL solved this? Oh, based. Hold on. SDL. What did you guys? I need to look through this library tomorrow at work. Intersect. What? What do you require? Search online. Wait, what is this? Oh my God, STL is such a cool program. I thought I didn't do game logic. You guys, this is like a game engine. Not that. Intersect rect. What do you do here? SDL rect. Calculate the intersection of two rectangles. Const rectangle A, const rectangle B. SDL rect result. An SDL rect structure representing the first rectangle, second rectangle, result. An SDL rect structure filled in with the intersection of rectangles A and B returns SDL true if there is an intersection, SDL false otherwise. The result is null, then this function will return false. Okay, we saw these terms earlier, SDL true and SDL false, for not texture, it was alpha something. No, if it was even visible. I guess if there is an intersection, I could make one of the sprites invisible with that same return value. Interesting, I didn't even think about that. Cool, wow, this is really fucking easy. It's almost like it's a real game library. It shouldn't be, it's a framework. Wow, that's cool. Well, that's gonna be easy tomorrow. Well, I guess tomorrow we're doing that and making a frame rate without using delta time. Oh, maybe that's what we'll do tomorrow. We'll react to this video. Somebody linked this. It's in the Discord. It's dear game developers, stop messing this up. And it's like talking about delta time, where there's like a bunch of programming shit, and it's only like a 20-minute video. So maybe if we have time tomorrow, we'll watch this. The only downside is this guy's kind of YouTuber-y, and he sounds like this.
Favorite video games, and you'll find it in every game engine from Unity to Unreal to GameMaker to Godot, which makes it even more frustrating that all most developers know about it is
I should multiply everything by delta time. If not, I am committing a crime.
LOL. If only it were so easy, huh? And if you're one of those know-it-alls who thinks they know everything already, then grab a pen and a piece of paper. I will test your knowledge. You're writing a game development test, my friend.
Chat, I don't know if I can watch this video. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Oh God, does somebody have like a text version of this? Please? Please? I can't do the YouTuber shit, chat. I cringe. I'm not a React Andy, okay? I can't do it. I can't react to shit and make money doing it. I feel weird. Anyway, chat, thank you for all the help today. We learned so much. Look at how clean this is, chat. Look how clean this load game module is. Oh, and now the game logic loop is so clean and nice and simple. Oh, it just makes me so happy. Okay, we're done today. We're done. Save, yes, get this out of my sight. All right, where's my desktop? Where's my music? Chat, why is everything running away from me? Hold on, the chat, this background's too lewd for you. 1 second. That one's too lewd. Okay, that's definitely too lewd. There we go, that's based. Furland? Listen, I'm not a weeb, but I'm especially not a furry. I'm just giving you fair warning, okay? I know I'm a cute goo boy, but goo boys aren't furry, okay? I assume this video was inspired by this. Fix your time stop. Oh, geez. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Okay, everyone. Have a good night. Have a good evening. Remember, I stream every single day, 4:30 p.m. PST PDT. It's 7:30 right now, so 3 hours ago. Everyone, thank you. Chat, what are you doing in the corner? Get down here. You guys know what's coming. You guys are into it. You consent. All right. You guys have earned more than a lick today. You guys get the grandpa kiss. Mwah. Chad, I'm your grandpa, not your boyfriend. See ya, goodbye.